And I know most of us already know what career planning is, some people we don't. But career planning is just basically a systematic approach that helps individuals assess their skills. So first of all, your skill, your interests, and your values. And these are like three important areas when it comes to career. So what are your skill sets? What do you have as a skill? And what do you have interest in? And what are your values as well? So these are like very important aspects when it comes to career and career planning. So it helps individuals assess their skills, their values, define and pursue their professional goals. So this includes self-evaluation, exploring various career paths, setting clear goals, and also developing a strategic plan to achieve them. So I remember when I was in the university, I really did not understand. I didn't even know what career planning is. I was just like, okay, after school, we'll see. It wasn't it wasn't until my NYSC that I got to understand what career planning is, and that's also thanks to our organization that put themselves to us during camp. Um, I don't really know the demography of the audience. I know some of you are in school, some are done with school, some of you are in your entry level and all of that. And these are like very crucial points in time for us or for you so that you can be able to like plan your career and know what you want. And even if you've made mistakes, I mean, it's very okay because it's very important for us to find ourselves and keep rediscovering ourselves. So there's nothing like a linear pathway to like discover. You must, sometimes you have to fail, you have to make mistakes and all of that. But it's very important that you make calculated uh, mistakes. And so that means that you are very much aware of what you are doing. And so this is why coming to you know a webinar like this is very important. So yes, so career planning is basically how you approach your interests, your values, and your skills. And so, and you see, the topic talks about career planning and road mapping, and these are like two different but closely related concepts or areas. And so I had to like, you know, break it down a bit. So when it comes to definitions, what is career planning? So I know I've defined it in the previous slide, but career planning is more like a strategic process of identifying career goals and the steps needed to achieve them. So that is what career planning is. But road mapping is a visual or structured representation of the steps, milestone in a career journey. I also took the time to develop a roadmap that you see in subsequent slides. So career planning is important, but it's also important for us to do a career roadmap so that whilst you the career plan, you have a roadmap, so you are seeing it. It's just like when you have a mission statement and a vision statement. So a mission statement is where you aspire to be. But mission statement is what you do every day to get there. So that's basically what career planning and road mapping is all about. So both of them working hand in hand helps you to really get to where you need to get to. So what's the focus? For career planning, it focuses on self-assessment, goal setting, and decision making. But road mapping focuses more on execution timeline, tracking your progress, and adjusting steps over time. Like I said, you need to keep rediscovering yourself. So it's very okay for you to say, oh, this is what I want to be, this is what I want to do. Then you come back 3 years later to say, oh, hmm, I have to take this thing a bit. I think that this is not working. So the roadmap helps you to track your progress and adjust, very important, adjust your steps over time. Then what are the components? So for career planning, your interests I mentioned before, your values, your skills, your goals, what are your different options as well as your decision? But road mapping is basically your milestones. Where have you gotten to? The timeline. When will you get to point A and point B? What are the different tasks you need to do? What are the different things you need to do to get there? Then your skill building activities. What are the different skills you're acquiring over time? And how you even acquiring it? And how you checking? So your checkpoint, oh yes, at this point in time, I've gotten this, I've gotten that. So just like checking in every once in a while. If you are, I think there was a time I was working in Leap Africa as an associate. So as an associate, I just started. So I was in like my entry level, or maybe like very close to leaving my entry level. So during that time, every 3 months, you see like someone that they've assigned to check. So you guys just have like check-in to ask you, oh, are you doing okay? Are you growing? Are you learning? And all of that. So basically, your roadmap is something like that for you. Then when it comes to purpose, so the career plan, your purpose is to define what you want to achieve professionally and why do you want to actually achieve that particular um, goal. But the roadmap is basically to help you map out how. You see, I put the how in italics. So how you get step by step. So the purpose for career planning is more what and why. But the road mapping is how. Please, can you confirm you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but there are like a few breaks in between.
Okay, because I saw my network at point off. So, like I said, your purpose is basically to define what you want to achieve professionally and why. So, it's basically what and why when it comes to career plans. When you are designing your career plan, you need to be asking yourself the what and the why questions. Why am I doing this? What is this going to look like? But the road mapping is basically how do I get there? How will I get to this point, to point A and point B? Then I gave an analogy here. So when it comes to career planning, an analogy will be planning the destination and purpose of a journey. So the destination and purpose. So I want to go to Abuja. And so why do I need to go to Abuja? What's happening in Abuja? Why do I need to be in Abuja? But the roadmap is drawing the map and route to reach the destination. So if I'm going by road, and I'm in Lagos, for instance, I need to go to God is Good Motors at Jibo, and maybe I'm coming from Lekki, so I'll have to drive, or I have to take a bus or a ride to Lekki to board to Abuja. And so the driver will take this route before you know you get to Kogi, and from Kogi you enter Abuja. So basically, drawing the map and the route to reach the destination. So this is basically what career planning and road mapping is about. So why is it important for us to have a career plan and roadmap? So first of all, clarity of direction. So if you have a career plan, if you have a roadmap, you will have a sense of direction. You know where you're going to. You will not be easily swayed. Today, I'm not for data analytics. Tomorrow, you are applying for project management course. Next tomorrow, you are going for like I just dancing according to the tune that you hear at every point in time. So, but then you have a clarity. Oh, I want to do this. This is what I want to do. I want to build a career in data analytics this course, I need to take this course, I need to follow this person on LinkedIn, I need to read these articles every day or every week, I need to do this and do that. Where do I want to start from? I want to be an intern first because nobody will take me as a mid-level because I'm just starting. So I have to intern. Where do I intern? Oh, maybe I'll intern at Leap Africa or I'll intern at Shape Africa, or like this way I've intern. Then after 1 year, I should have been able to impress them a lot for them to move me to an associate or to an officer. Like that. You have a clarity of direction. You know where you're going to, right? And it doesn't mean that because you have a clarity of direction, it's going to go that way. But because you already know where you're going to, you're not easily swayed. Just like what the Bible says. Sorry, I'm bringing the Bible for those who are not Christians. But it says if you build your house on the rock, on a solid rock. When the rain or the wind comes, you will not be wiped out, right? Just paraphrasing in this case. So basically, that's what it is. That's what it means. That's one of the importance of having a career plan and your roadmap. Number two is goal setting and achievement. So you've been able to help you to set goals, not just uh goals that are very, you know, unattainable, but they're like smart goals. By smart, I means your goal is specific, measurable, is actionable, is time bound. So you have those goals, you've set those goals, and basically when you set your goals and you abide by your discipline or discipline, definitely you get there or you achieve something close to it, right? And so number three is efficient skill development. It helps you, like I said it before, you're not just jumping from one to another. In 20 in 2018, when I finished university, when I graduated, I went for NYC, and an organization, they were looking for about five core members in camp to work with them. And so I applied, and from there, I became an intern. I started working, they were training me and all of that. And right there, I knew that I want to build a career in project management. And ever since 2019, I've always worked as a project manager in one way or the other, but I did not start as a project manager. I started as project intern, associate. I was even working interning, they were not paying me, only data stipend. You have to move from one place to another. And because I know what I wanted, because I've seen what it looks like, I have a foresight and I know that, oh, this is what I want to build. And today I'm a national program coordinator. But I didn't just start from there. I had to, build my career. What if I started and I did project management this year? Tomorrow I go to communication. Next tomorrow I go to this place. I'm just moving and moving and moving. So, but because I have a career plan, map, so I'm able to build efficient skill. I'm able to develop my skill set. And because I'm consistently building my skill in a particular area, ah, there's no way I'll become better in that area over time. So I've been working for the past 6 years now. And practicing project management for 6 years versus practicing project management for 1 year or 2 years, it's not the same, you can imagine, because I've handled a lot of projects. I've gotten the experience, and I'm still getting experience, I'm still learning. So, and I've taken courses, I've taken a lot of courses, I'm continuously taking courses in Nigeria and abroad just to get better. So this is what it looks like when you have a career plan. You have a straightforward vision and you know what you are doing. Another importance is basically having adaptability to change. So um, because you already have a career plan and you have a roadmap, you're able to adapt. And this can come in different forms. So let's say you're working in a particular place and it's not convenient for you, it's not conducive, you don't like what it's like, like I was interning for free, I was not being paid. But because I knew what I was going for, so I was able to just adapt to it. I'm going to adapt to it. And I had to even move to Lagos for that internship. And Lagos is a crazy place to stay in. But every day I had to wake up 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. and commute to, face traffic and all of that. But I had to adapt because I knew that it's not going to be forever, or even if it's going to be forever, it's going to get better in one way or the other. Another importance is increased confidence. Increased confidence. If you wake me up tomorrow now, you wake me up in the morning and say, Ebuka, come and present something on project management, present something on monitoring evaluation, present something on partnership building, present something on grant writing. I don't need to prepare a slide. I can prepare that because I already have this confidence. I've built confidence because I'm building my skill set in a particular area, right? So it's very important for you to have a career plan. Then maximize opportunities. So when you have a career plan, you know what opportunity to seize. You know which one to seize and which one to say, oh, there are times where I'll just be like, okay, this job is interesting, but it's not for me. I can't take this. I'm not doing this. Like, oh, it's 1 million naira. Oh my God, it's 1.5. I have to do this. No. So you know what you want. You know the kind of jobs that are good for you because a career is different from a job. And I'm going to explain that in subsequent slides. So you're able to see the opportunity. And because you already know that, oh, I am a doctor and I want to be a neurosurgeon, you know, oh, when you see an opportunity, there's a fellowship in Washington, D.C., and it's for early starters and blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm taking this, I'm seeing I'm going to prepare my. But if you don't really know, I want to be a doctor, but I'm not sure. Is it neurosurgeon? Is it this? You don't know. So opportunities will come and you don't even know what to do about it, how to seize it. It just pass you by and you're like, oh, if I had known. Then work-life balance, as tricky or as not so important as it may look, having a career plan and a roadmap helps you to have a work-life balance. You know how to balance things and not just working and working and working. Some people are overzealous in the workplace. They're working high service and all of those things, and you don't have a balance, and it's really affecting them. But because you know they are going to, you have a career plan. You know that in 3 years you're out of this place, you're moving, you're climbing the ladder. You know how to even get there. You're not overworking yourself. You're not doing too much. We are just doing the accurate amount, the right amount of enough for you. Basically, these are some of the importance of having a career plan. And so moving on to the future of work. So tying it down to also like the career plan, you need to also understand what's the future of work. If you want to even be the career, what is the future of work? Because some jobs are becoming obsolete. And yes, you are passionate, but I mean, what do you want to do about it? Maybe you need to build transferable skills. Maybe you need to integrate this and this technology or that and that to it to make it still relevant in your community or your environment. But you need to understand the future of work for you to even build a career. So you're not building a career out of passion, because passion don't pay the bills. And so the future of work in 2025 is by significant advancements in AI and automation. I think my network is breaking again. Sorry, please, can you confirm you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So like I said the future of work in 2025 is characterized by significant advancements in AI. I know that you're already hearing everywhere. Open your LinkedIn, open this, open that. AI, China, America, China, America. They're doing a lot with AI. In fact, in China now, primary school students are now being taught AI. So you see, AI is a new deal, right? So significant advancement in AI and automation, a shift towards hybrid. That's one AI. There's also a shift towards hybrid and remote work models. So if you don't know how to work remotely, if you don't know how to use Microsoft, if you don't know how to use Google, you don't know how to use Asana, different technologies that you need to use to work remotely. If you don't know how to use them, then you're going to be left behind. And a growing emphasis on skills like data analysis, cybersecurity, and sustainability. So you see, these are like few areas that you need to even pay attention to. So and it's like you have passion for maybe history. You want to go and study history. You're very passionate about history. You can actually translate it to data analysis. How do you analyze things that have happened in the past and put it out as information for people to build on, and all of those things. So, but you need to also know the future of work. And as of 2025, this is what is looking like. The advancement in AI, a shift towards hybrid and remote work and models, and a growing emphasis on skills like data analysis, cybersecurity, and sustainability. So these changes will reshape job roles and require workers to adapt and skill to remain competitive. So you need to adapt, you need to keep moving with the trend. That's basically what it's looking like in this time and age. And since COVID happened in 2019, 2020, there's been a shift from working every day from home. Like me now, I've been working a lot from, I think after February, because I work hybrid. After February, I had not gone to the office until May. But I was working, I was traveling for work and all of that. But I mustn't be in the office. I have meetings with people from different places and all of that to collaborate to work online. So you see, that's the reality of the work. But if I'm a project manager, I don't know how to move with the trend. I'll be left behind. And I can manage projects too, but not moving with the trend, I'll be left behind. So what happens to my wealth of experience and knowledge in project management? Because aside being able to manage projects, you must also understand the trends. The different technologies are evolving over time. And so you see a chart here talking about the top trends in the world of work or the future of work 2025. You see the analysis here. So hybrid models are now standard, supporting work-life balance, talent diversity, and cost savings on office space. So shift in demographics and generational differences. So the Gen Zs are also driving demand for flexibility and inclusivity, while remote hiring brings global talent and diverse perspective. So you see, then the impact of artificial intelligence and automation. We can't even overemphasize this. So the AI and automation streamline tasks, free up time for strategy, and provide insight for workflows, making upskilling essential. You also see for prioritizing employee well-being and mental health, reskilling, upskilling, and closing skill gap. I need to even talk about this. So companies are what they are now, prioritizing learning programs to close skill gaps, creating an adaptable future-ready workforce. So the future of work is very important if you want to plan your career now, or maybe you've planned your career before, but I mean, come back and check the future of work and replan your career or adjust it. So now they're like core skills for 2030, and this is 2025. So in 5 years' time, these are skills that are very core. So we have emerging skills and we have core skills and we have out of focus skills and we have steady skills. So if you look at this chart clearly, you can see that the emerging skills are networks and cyber security, environmental stewardship, design and user experience. And the core skills are AI and big data, curiosity and lifelong learning, talent management. You can see the chart basically, you can see what it's looking like. So you can see that there are core skills that are emerging and their core skills right now. And there are skills that they are becoming out of focus, and there are skills that are just steady skills continuously. Resource management and operations, steady. Empathy and active listening, steady. So it means that in 2030, steady skills will be relevant because you must be empathetic and you must also have active listening skill. Because if you don't listen well, you can't do tasks, you can't execute your work. So these are like very important things to consider when you're planning your career, right? So I also developed, I will share this link later. I developed a worksheet that you can use to actually prepare your career plan. So I had to develop it, and I think I'll share my screen to show you what it's looking like. But self-discovery worksheet for career clarity. So that I come up with 6 steps that you need to um, you know, put in place to actually discover yourself before you even start this your career planning. So it gives you career clarity. So number one, you need to know your personality. And how do you know this? You can use tools like system personalities test. So that will help you to understand who you are. Are you ENTJ? If you've not done the test before, I might not really understand what I'm saying. But I mean, like I said, I have developed a worksheet that you can use. And if once you download the worksheet, you're able to like use the steps to create to um go through these steps and understand yourself better. Then the step two is identify your strengths. What are your strengths? And then like tools you can use. So a high five test is a free platform you can use, but Clifton Strength is paid. You have to pay for it. But I mean, why not just use high five test for free? So that's another step. So after you know your personality, another thing to do is to identify your strength. And after identifying your strength, the step three is to discover your interest. And you can use this sec to do that. Then step four is to define your core values. You remember I said values when it comes to career planning. Talked about value. I talked about skills. So you need to define your core skills, and you can use mind tools, values assessment to actually define your core values. Then step 5 is to map your aptitudes. So you can also use 1, 2, 3 test aptitude assessments to do this. And when you are done with that, you can now move to step 6, which is to design your life. And you can use the Ikigai worksheet. So don't worry, you can use the link below to download the sheet that I've created for you for this. So I talked about job and career. So some of us we think job is the same thing as career, but they are two different things. And these are like the differences between jobs and between career. So first, a job is an activity to earn money for a living. So if you're doing a job, you're just doing a living. I mean, the country is hard right now, especially in Nigeria. And so people are just, doing different jobs, but basically it's not their career. It's not what they want to actually do. But what's the career? So while a job is an activity to earn for a living, an occupation or profession that requires special training or education and is followed as one's life work. So it's forever or it's for a very, very long time. And so a job is a short-term pursuit, but career is a long-term pursuit, like I said. Then a job often does not require specialist experience, skills, or training, but a career often requires specialist skills, training, and experience. So imagine they want to employ a national program coordinator when I'm no more there, maybe when I transition to another organization. They will not just say, please apply if you're a boy or if you're a girl. No, they'll say, if you have so and so years of experience, if you've managed so and so project, if you've done this and this, if you have a bachelor's or a master's program, a master's degree, if you have done training, if you are PMP certified. So like there are specialist skills, training, and experience required for a career. And you have to get you have to get it as you progress. There's not everything you get immediately. Then when it comes to job, earning money is the main goal. But when it comes to career, passion and sense of fulfillment is often the main goal. But I bet you, when you have a good career, you will earn a lot. So basically, these are like few differences I've been able to find online between jobs and career. So you need to also know this before you go ahead to create a career plan. So I have a video. Um, I'll just play a little bit of it. I just want you to listen to get something right. I don't know if you can hear my screen. Can you hear, please?
It's not loud. I can't hear.
Okay.
So yeah, I think I can increase the volume.
Um, oh.
Why do you need a concrete
Sorry, can you hear
plan
now?
for career growth?
Could you hear?
It's still not loud. Or can you put in the chat if you can hear?
Hi, everyone.
Okay,
I'm
yes,
Noor.
we can hear now.
And for those who don't know me, I used to be a software engineer, and later on in my career, I grew into leadership. I was an engineering manager and a director of engineering. And over the past 5 years, I've been focusing on my passion, which is supporting women in tech and helping women grow and succeed. And today, I really wanted to talk about having a plan for career growth. The reason I think it's very important is because I didn't always have one. And looking backwards, I realized how important it was. I remember times in my career that I felt stuck, that I felt that I'm in the wrong place. And I'll give you one example is that a story I share quite a lot is when I was promoted to a staff engineer. And I felt that that was not the path that was right for me, because I didn't see myself going into senior staff and staying in the IC route rather than wanting to become a manager. But I only realized that once I was promoted. And unfortunately, I didn't have a plan. And also, no one knew that I wanted to be a manager. And, I saw my colleagues around me getting promoted and getting feeling, well, maybe I'm not cut up for management, good enough. But, the challenge was that I really didn't have a plan and I didn't socialize it with anyone. So no one knew what I wanted. So not limbo. And for years, it took me, I think, 4 years before I finally stepped into leadership from that point. And, without a clear direction, I was letting my career happen to me instead of taking the driver's seat. And back then I was a young mom, first child, and I felt trapped. I traveled constantly. I missed a lot of important milestones at home. And I worked in a role that didn't align with my ambition. Obviously, it led to a lot of frustrations. And I felt that I'm stuck and I'm not in the right path for me. And I didn't know how to communicate my goals and how to take proactive steps to achieve them. So the truth that I've learned the hard way is that no one is coming to hand you your dream role on a silver platter. You really need to define your own goals, understand the environment you're working in, and advocate for yourself. I think that a concrete plan for your career.
So basically, if you listen to what she was saying, you realize that she did not have a career plan, and because of that, she was just floating, and even when a break came, she wasn't really sure. And it took her 4 years. So you can imagine what not having a career plan would look like. Frustration, and she said something very important, which is nobody's coming to hand you your dream role. So you need to make intentional steps. You need to take those steps to get there, and you need to have a plan, basically. So you can maybe watch the video, the full length, much later. I'll share. But I just wanted to understand the challenges of this lady and, what it was like for her as a professional without a career plan. So it's as if life was just happening to her, you know, just blow her ear, she go. And there is this frustration. I don't know if you've ever heard of the word job satisfaction or career fulfillment. Like, if that is not in place, if you don't have satisfaction, fulfillment in your career or in what you are doing, no matter how much they are paying you, I promise you, it might last for a few months. I mean, like, oh, this big money is coming, fat check day. But I guess your point where you're like, what am I doing? What is all this? And this is because you don't really know where you're going. You don't plan yourself. This is why career planning is very important. Okay. Yeah, so career roadmap. So we've talked about career planning, career planning, career planning. Talked about career roadmap. We talked about it as a visual representation, right? What is it even looking like? And so the picture you're seeing here is an illustration that I've created for myself for this purpose of this training, and kind of reflect the kind of person I am or what I want, to a large extent. So you can see Buka Alumana's career map. So you can see my future career vision. You can see my long-term goals. You can see my short-term goals, which are also quite similar to my mid-term goals. You can see some of the things that I like, or some of the things I've done, supported youth initiatives, advocated for neurodiversity, leadership programs, foundation. You can see my career pivot and rerouting. That's to tell you that at different points in time, you need to also reevaluate and move here and there. So the winding road symbolizes dynamic and non-linear path of a career. It illustrates that career growth involves turns. It involves turns, milestones, and sometimes rerouting, rather than being a straight line. You see, sometimes it's not really straightforward. It's not linear, basically. And so short-term goals are immediate, achievable action designed to build momentum. Your career pivoting and rerouting represent flexibility, and the long-term goals are more distant and time-taking, while the future career vision is a compass point to align all career decisions and goals with. So you can see it. So that's at the peak. So when I get to the peak, how am I feeling? Am I feeling fulfilled? I feel like, oh yes, I've gotten to where I need to, what are my short-term goals to even achieve my long-term goals or to achieve my mid-term goals and from my mid-term goals to my long-term goals? How am I documenting it? What are the challenges I'm facing and how am I able to navigate it? These are very important things to ask yourself or to consider when you are drawing your map. It mustn't be beautiful, it mustn't be, depending, but please come. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay, thanks. So yeah, that's basically it. You must have a roadmap and be planned your career and you have yes, you have a visual, you have a mental or picturesque of what you are looking for, what you are looking to achieve. And that helps a lot, I promise you. Okay. So, and this brings us to design thinking. And it's very important to have this mindset to understand design thinking before you go develop your career plan and your roadmap. What is design thinking? So, in ordinary terms, or in the best way possible to define it, it's a user-focused problem-solving approach that emphasizes understanding people's need to create innovative solutions. It combines one, empathy, creativity, and continuous testing to track complex challenges effectively. So, design thinking is basically user focused. That is you using that particular product or the people that will use the particular product, designing it to be focused on the people that are going to use that end product. So in terms of your career plan, who is going to use your career plan and your roadmap is basically you. So if you have a design thinking mentality, or if you use the design thinking approach, that means you are basically using a user-focused problem-solving approach that will emphasize understanding of people's needs. That is your needs to create innovative solutions. That's to create a bright future for yourself. And I think I was able to break it down the best way possible. So, but then the stages of this design thinking, you have to first of all empathize, then you define, then you ideate, then you create a prototype and you test it and you iterate on it basically. But what I did in the subsequent slide was to explain it one after the other as though you are creating your career plan. I hope this will be effective. So I'm applying these 5 stages of design thinking to your career planning. So number one, remember, is to empathize. So first of all, you need to understand yourself deeply. Before you make any career decision, you need to truly understand you. So what are the key questions you need to ask? What are my strengths and weaknesses? What do I enjoy doing? What drains me? Like, what really drains me? You need to understand this thing. So this means you're empathizing with yourself. You see how the icon is showing. So face to face, it's you in this case because we're trying to apply it to career planning. So number two is to define. So you need to clarify your career problem or goal. Now, frame your insight into clear states of your career challenge. What questions do you ask during this stage? What problem am I trying to solve in my career? What kind of work gives me meaning and motivation? These are like very important questions you need to ask before you define or during your definition stage. You can't just go ahead and just say, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. And the third one is to ideate. So now translating it means explore career possibility. So you need to brainstorm and research a wide variety of career options. Be bold and creative. So the key questions you need to ask is what industries or role align with my interest and skills? What if I explored freelance work, side hustle, or abroad? These are different options. These are questions you need to ask yourself to explore your career possibilities during ideation. Then the next one is prototype. I told you need to develop a product. So what you need to do here is to experiment and try it out. So test your ideas with low risk actions. Remember, low risk action before making big decisions. So the key question here is, how can I get a taste of this job? Are we good? Okay. I think Damila is there. So let's just wait a minute to join. But I mean, let's use the chat box if we are actually uh, understanding, or if you something so far, just like something to show. Um, yeah, I want to see that we are following and that we're getting something. So I'm saying yes, Daddy. I am. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much for your responses. I don't know if she's here yet. Okay, she's not here. So I'm stopping because she's recording this session. So I mean, you might want to use this session, you might want to listen to it again later. So this is why I'm also or maybe I can record from my end. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, so I'll just continue while I'm recording. Okay. Is she back? Is she back? Let's see. If she's not back, but then we'll continue because I'm recording. So prototype. So I need to develop a product, but translating it, it means experiment and try it out. Test your ideas with low risk actions before making the decision. The key question here is, how can I get a taste of this job or field? Volunteering, internship, graduate training program, and different ways to get in. I remember in my time, I was so desperate to learn. Like, it was not about making money, I was very interested in understanding how project management works. So I was just shooting emails, cold emails, sending messages to organizations, looking at executive directors of different organizations on LinkedIn. And I was sending them email, please, I want to volunteer here. I want to volunteer. I don't mind if you don't pay me. I just want to learn. And most of them are like, okay, you know what? Um, let's get you into an interview and all of that. So, you know, okay, great, she's back now. So I was recording in Damula just in case. Um, but let me stop recording so you can, because I'm recording to my computer. So let me stop recording so you can record. So I'm making you the host. All right, so in Damula, I can start the recording. All right, she has left again. This must be network. Okay, I'm going to record again. Uh, so let's record to cloud this time. Great. Okay, let me go back to prototype, right? I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. Oh my God. So yeah, talking about prototype, experiment and try it. I have talked about it. So how can I get a taste of this job of field? So you need to, how do I get into this career? Basically, the question is, how do I get into this career? How do you get into it? Internships, associate program, graduate training, apprenticeship, different ways, volunteering. For those of you that want to go into NGO, these are like different ways you can get into your career that you're aspiring to build on. So the last one is test. And so translating this is get feedback and reflect. Evaluate how well your experiment worked and adjust accordingly. So the key questions you need to ask here is, did I enjoy this experience? So now you've tried internship, you've gotten a taste of this career in the place you want to go. So you need to ask yourself, did I enjoy this experience? Do I feel more or less energized? What did I learn about myself in working in this? You need to ask yourself those questions. And so if it's good, then that means that career is good for you. And so why not just say on play? Okay. So that's basically it about testing. So applying these 5 stages of design thinking to your career planning, it helps you basically to know the right thing to do and use a user-friendly approach, which helps you basically to make the right decision and develop the right career path. Okay, now, so there are barriers to career clarity and how to overcome them. So how do you overcome this career? Um, First of all, what are these barriers to career clarity? And second of all, how do you overcome them? So I put my table, one here for the barriers, the other side is how do you overcome them? So first is lack of self-awareness. And it's in form of, I don't know what I don't know what I'm good at or what I truly enjoy. I really don't know. These are like questions. These are like um, statements that come out of lack of self-awareness. And so, please confirm you can hear me. I just feel like I'm not being heard. Can you hear me, guys? Okay, thank you, thank you. So yeah, first of all, the barrier to career clarity is lack of awareness. And I said it comes in form of, I don't know what I'm good at, or I don't really know what I enjoy. But how do you overcome this? First of all, you take assessment tools, and I've mentioned some of them here, and I said I'm going to share a document with you. Second of all, reflect on experiences. What energized you when you did something? And what drained you? Then about your peak moment and record interest. Keep journaling it. You know, what moments for you and like that occurring, right? And so the other thing to do is ask friends and mentors. By now, you should have a mentor. Even me that I'm talking to you, I have a mentor. And what I do is have mentorship sessions with them because they are way ahead of me. And so have a mentor, have friends that you gossip with or you talk about other things are in your career that have interest in your career. For me, I have an accountability group and we have meetings every once in 2 weeks. So every fortnight we have meetings, we talk about important topics that can help us grow on WhatsApp call. So have friends like that. And so because of that network you build, you can ask questions, you can ask your mentors questions. And when you are having that doubt of or speculations of I don't know what I'm good at, I don't know what I enjoy. They can what do you mean, Kechi? I'm good at public speaking. You don't know how to analyze data. These are kind of to keep. Then another thing is information overload. And it's very common with young people like us. Starting out, you will try everything. By everything, I mean everything. You will join every webinar. You will join everything. Oh, there's webinar. Oh, I'm joining. I'm joining this one. I'm joining that one. So joining all of those things can lead to information overload. And so it come of there are too many options. I'm overwhelmed. And this is what it actually looks like. And so how do you overcome it? Is to narrow your focus using a career filter, e.g., work environment, salary impact, filter it, narrow it down to those areas so that you know where you're going to. And not just attending here, joining this one, joining that one, and you're getting too much. Today they'll tell you in this webinar, they'll tell you save 50% of your salary. The webinar, they'll tell you save 30% of you're like, okay, so which one should I even do? So it's good to narrow your focus. Another one is group options into categories. So creative, analytical, people focus, group them. So me, I have my podcast channel. When I open my phone, you see my podcast channel. There are podcasts I listen to. I group them religious. And if I want to listen that will energize me, I have the ones I listen to. If I need one that will energize me in my workplace, I have podcasts that I need to listen to. If I have one that will help me build my leadership skill, because I'm now occupying the leadership role, I manage people, I manage projects, I listen to those ones. So I group them. So I know which one to listen to part time. How am I feeling? How am I feeling at this point? Do you get? So that helps me to like narrow it down. Then choose 2 to 3 options to explore deeply through research, networking, and short-term projects. So you have to choose your options that you need to explore deeply, very deeply, while just reach other ones, right? So have your core. It's very important to have your core. You say jack of all trade, and master of one. He's not master of none. That's wrong saying that people always jack of all trades, master of one. So it's good to know things, it's good to be an encyclopedia, but be a master of one.
I
Be a
think
master.
Ebuka, you're breaking.
Oh, am I still breaking now? Hello? Hello? Oh, okay. Oh, you can't hear me. I can still hear you. Okay, means oh my god, I'm confused now. Okay, I'm good, great. So maybe it's your network, guys, because most of us here can hear me. Great. So I said it's master of all trade. Sorry, jack of all trades, master of one. So it's very important for you to pick your core. Still in the barriers, right? I'm moving to the next slide. So, okay. Yeah, fear of making wrong choice. And it comes in form of what if I choose wrong or regret it or I regret it. So that's another barrier. Like, okay, well, what if I just choose this one and I regret it later? How to overcome this? To reframe your mindset. Careers are evolving. You see, I boldened it. They are evolving. They're not fixed, like I told you. It evolves. So reframe your mindset and use prototypes, like I said in the other slides, e.g., internship, short courses, side project, explore path safely. So use prototypes, and these examples of prototypes I've listed. Use it to explore your path safely, right? Oh, okay, this is internship at this point. Oh, I need to take short courses. And so I think in 2024, if I'm not mistaken, the time I was like, oh, I feel like I'm not really good again in project management. I feel like I've not gotten enough knowledge. I feel like I've expended everything I knew at that time. I felt like that. And so what I did was course in University of Cape Town on project management, monitoring and evaluation approach. So that 3 month course helped me to, replenish myself, get more insight and all of that. So it's very important. Short courses is very, very important. Maybe I'm not able to afford to pay for very expensive courses at this time. There are free short courses. Coursera is there. This age and time is the best time to live because there are so many things available, so many knowledge flying left, right, and center on YouTube, on Coursera, on this, on that. Explore those ones based on your safety net. So another way to reframe, to overcome this particular fear of making the wrong choice is to accept that every step involves learning. Every steps, every step provides learning rather, and even if it's not a destination. So yes, it might not be a destination for you, but there's one or two things you will learn. They say that no knowledge is a waste, and that is very true. There are some where I'm like, oh my God, so this is why I did shorthand in business study that time in secondary school. And I'm like, oh, so this is why I did this and that. So sometimes, in English, we're doing all of us now, we did what do you call it? In primary school, we read Queen Prem. I go up I go. We did proper nouns and all of that. I promise you, it's very relevant. So most of the time when I'm reviewing concept notes of my colleague, when they send me concept notes to read, I'm like, do you know that proper noun, you can't write somebody's name and start with a small letter. Don't you know this? And personal pronoun, you cannot use I. I am going to use small letter I. It's supposed to be capitalized, even if it's in the middle of a sentence. So all of those things we learned back then. So you see, no knowledge is a waste, basically. So take the opportunity to learn at every point in time and don't say, what if I regret it? No, you will get something from it. So another barrier is external pressure. External pressure. My family or society expects me to follow a certain path. My daddy wants me to be a lawyer. My mommy wants me to be this. My community people, I'm the first person they are sending to the UK for masters. They want me to do this. I mean, it does not really happen so much again. But I mean, if you read Chino Achebe's No Longer at Ease, you realize that um, the certain man in the book was the community, the association in Lagos then sponsored him to go to the UK to study. And so when he went to the UK to study, there was certain expectation when he came back, he needed to do this. At some point, they were even coming to him for bribe, put my son in this, put my daughter in this, because he was in charge of the scholarship program, in the pre-colonial, in the colonial era of Nigeria, in that book, the setting. And so at the end of the day, you know what happened. If you read the book, you know what happened. He was apprehended and all of that. He lost his job and all of this, all of that. So you see, but how do you overcome this is to clarify your personal values. What really matters to you? What really matters to you? And you see, I said it at the beginning that when it comes to career planning, values system is one of the important things to consider. Skills, very important. So have honest conversation with supportive people. So what supportive people at this point? Your parents, I mean, without them, you can't go to school. Your friends, your mentors, have these conversations with them and let them understand, you know, you guys are going to meet yourself halfway. And it's better than just doing exactly what they want you to do. Set boundaries and build a community that respects your aspiration. So aside your family, every other person out there that is not contributing to your life should not be able to dictate what you're supposed to do. So external pressure it should not be a pressure, basically. I mean, you need to also develop the craft of saying no. That's very important. And that would help you go a long way. Okay. Okay, so I think I need to make, let me, hold on. I'm so sorry for the break again. I'm trying to, but in Amalano, yeah. Okay. Okay, I think I just saw you. Sorry. Make post. Yeah. Okay, back, guys. I'm back. Yeah, so external pressure, right? That's one of the barriers, and you need to overcome it. Um, So we still have more barriers, right? So low confidence or imposter syndrome. And this is, I mean, even me at some point in my life, I had imposter syndrome. So it comes in form of I'm not good enough for that career. I mean, look at people succeeding in that career. I don't think I'm good enough for it. See what they're posting on LinkedIn. Oh my God, I don't think I'm cut out for this. Maybe I should do something smaller, you know. And there's this quote by um I can't remember the name anymore, but it's our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond our imagination. You know, so we are actually you can do anything you put your mind towards. You can achieve anything. So it's nothing like I'm not good enough for that. You need to scrap that mentality out. And so how do you overcome it? You know, is to celebrate small wins and achievements. I think there's a quote that says small wins are still wins. So celebrate your small wins. If it, oh, you just attended this training and you got 5 nuggets from this training, you got celebrate that win because you've gotten this knowledge and nobody can take it away from you. Celebrate small wins. You got this certificate, you got this fellowship program, celebrate it. Even if it's not so popular, it's not the big one, it's not Mandela Washington Fellowship, celebrate it. Seek mentors who can affirm and guide you. Take gradual steps to competence and confidence follows, you know. So once you take gradual steps to build competence, you know, for me, I took years. I was not speaking, I was not out there, I was working on myself, I was doing the job, getting the experience so that I can be confident when I'm talking because I can build competence in what I'm doing. And so that gives me confidence to talk about what I'm doing. But what if I have not built competence and I'm coming to talk to you, I'm coming to train you on something? I mean, I don't even know jack about it. I'm half baked, you see. But that does not also mean that I've gotten to the point where I don't want to learn again. No, I'm continuously learning, but I'm not competent in what I do. And this is what organizations see, and they hire me, and they're able to pay me any amount I say I want for this particular role. So another one is lack of exposure and experience. So it comes in form of I've never seen anyone like me do this before. And this is also because you don't have exposure and experience. And so how do you overcome is to connect with professionals via LinkedIn, webinars. Like on this webinar now, you know, after the webinar, during Q&A, connect with people, you know, oh, this is my LinkedIn, please follow me, you know, like that. From there, you're building connections with people. And, you know, on LinkedIn, search for people, you know, search for people in project, if you are interested in project management, search for people in project management, follow them, see what they are posting every day, you know, attend local events, and from there you start attending international events as well. So volunteer, intern, or job shadow in your new industries. That can help a lot. And follow people in your fields of interest to learn their stories. I'm a big fan of Viola David. I like her career trajectory, and I follow her. There's no post she make that I don't read. I've read her book. I bought her book. In fact, when her book came out, it was not in Nigeria yet. I had to look for it in the US. Somebody had to help me get it and send it down to Nigeria. So you see, that is what it looks like. You're exposing yourself and getting experience. Then unrealistic expectation, it comes like this. I need to find the perfect career that checks all the boxes. That's a lie. You will not find it. So how do you overcome it? Is to focus on alignment, not perfection. There's nothing like perfection is an illusion. You cannot be perfect. Look for careers that fit your top priority. Remember that careers evolve over time. Your next job is not your last. Do you get? So there's a mindset I got from at one point in my career. It says enter, perform, exit. So when you're coming to a job, when you're coming to a workplace, have the mindset that entering this job in this workplace to 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 perform, and there's a timeline and you exit. So enter, exit. So remember your career evolves over time. Your next job is not your last. Be open to growing into a role or industry over time. Very important. So let me quickly run through this because we don't have time. Yeah, I think yeah, Miriam Williamson, deepest fear, that's the quote. And I've seen this quote in two movies. Coach, Coach, first is Aquila and the Bee, then the other one is Coach. something, I can't remember that movie, but it's a very important movie that will help you to discover yourself as well. Coach Carter, that's the name, yeah. So, so there are different trends in Africa and the global context to consider. And I'll just put it in a table quickly, right? So there are aspects I'm considering that I've considered as first youth. I mean, we're all young persons here. Work models, challenges, opportunities, and support system. So when it comes to youth in the African context, the largest youth demographic, they are the largest, youth are the largest youth, demographic in Africa. So we're experiencing what we call the youth bulge in Africa at this point in time. So you are very much, in fact, Africa needs you more than ever at this time. So that's something you need to consider when you're looking at the African context. But in the global context, we have aging population more. Many regions we have older population, and this is because they don't, they don't, they don't reproduce more like as Africans, like Africans. So what models? So in Africa, informal sector dominates. So the informal sector is dominating in Africa. That's something you need to know that, actually the informal sector is actually dominating in Africa. In the global context, what you need to also have in mind is there's now hybrid gigs, remote work rising. So the rise in hybrid work on gigs, that's consulting and remote work. That's what it's like in global context. There's a job I was applying for the other day, and it's in the UK, but I'll be in Nigeria doing the job. So I mean, remote work is what.
Ebuka, sorry to interrupt. You just have like, because we are really pressed for time. Just have about like 3 minutes to round up so that we can take questions and answers, and they can also fill the post assessment. And I'm so sorry, network has been throwing me up and down, but hopefully we can conclude this honorably before anything happen again. Thank you.
All right. Okay, I'll just run this. Thank you. So yeah, challenges. In Africa, there's unemployment. That's something you already know by now. The skill gap. So because there's skill gap, then there's an opportunity for you to fill in those skill gaps and become employable. And in the global context, there's the tech disruption and there's mental health here and there. In the mental health, the concept of mental health is beginning to become a global concept, and the tech disruption. So everything is infusing tech and tech and tech into it. Then opportunities in Africa, entrepreneurship is opportunity for you to build enterprise and digital upskilling. But in the global context, there are global jobs and purposeful careers as well. The support system in African context, limited guidance and exposure, but in the global context, expanding digital and mental health resources. So these are like the different trends you need to look at, right? Okay, so helpful resources for you. So for podcast, I listened to this particular podcast I just shared here. You can click on the link, or maybe I can share the link with you. Then there are books that has helped me. I think that Finding Me by Viola Davis is an important book for you to read, and Born a Crime by Trevor Noah is an important book for you to discover yourself and also plan your career. And it's very important for you to know that Trevor Noah did not go to university, he did not attend university, but Trevor Noah is one of the highly sought after presenters today in the world. You can imagine. And he has his own show on Spotify um, called What's Now? What's Now with Trevor Noah. And I listen to the podcast every week. Very interesting conversations there. Social media platform, those of society on Instagram, it helps you a lot to also like learn and see the world differently. Okay, I think I've come to the end of my presentation. So it took much
Um,
time.
Thank you so much for that, Ebuka. That was really detailed and insightful. Thank you. So now we are in the question and answer segment, and also we would be simultaneously filling the post assessment form. Please, I have shared the post assessment form in the chat. So please click on the link and then be filling the post assessment form. Now I would allow people to unmute themselves and ask your question. So you raise your hand. So raise your hand and then we'll call you and you unmute yourself and ask your question. So let's have the questions rolling in. And while the questions are rolling in and while he's answering, please be filling the post assessment form too. The link is already in the chat. So anyone to ask questions? Gracie, Gabriel, yes, unmute yourself and speak. Okay. Please unmute yourself and speak. Let's be, because of time. Are there questions? Let me check YouTube if there are questions on YouTube. There's a question here in the chat though. Fatima says, "Good day, please, sir. Have you ever felt like giving up on your career? If yes, how did you do it? How did you overcome it?" Then Blessing, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Please, let's do this.
Okay. Please, my question is that how can someone like apply design thinking to their career? How can you apply design thinking to your short-term goals? Please, did you get my question?
Yes, I got the question. Thank you, Bless. Yeah, so how you can apply it? I can apply this design thinking to career planning and to your short-term goals. And so in the previous slides that I shared, how you can apply this design thinking. So it's basically applying the stages of design thinking to your career planning. And number one is empathize. So you need to understand yourself deeply before you make any career decisions. So you need to truly understand yourself and ask yourself questions like, what are my strengths and weaknesses? What do I enjoy doing? What drains me? And when you do that, you can now go ahead to the next one, which is to define. And that's the second stage of the design thinking. So you need to clarify your problem or goals. Now, you need to also frame your insight into a clear statement of your career. So you need to ask yourself questions. What problem am I trying to solve in my career? What kind of work gives me meaning and motivation? And so you part of the design thinking, which is to ideate. So you now explore your career possibilities. So you brainstorm and research a wide variety of career options. You need to be creative about this. So you ask yourself questions like, what industries, what industries or role align with my interests and skills? And what if I explored freelance work or a side hustle or study abroad? So like you need to on you need to ideate on this by exploring different career possibilities, and that's the ideation part. And another stage of design thinking is the prototype, and this is basically experimenting and trying out. So you test your ideas with low risk action before making the decision. This is asking yourself like, how can I get a taste of this career or how can I get to this field? And I said you can do that through internship, through volunteering, through graduate training programs, and all of that. The last part of the design thinking stage is testing. So you need to get feedback and reflect. How do you do this? You evaluate how well your experiment work and adjust accordingly. And this comes in the form of questions. I enjoy this experience by experience, I mean internship that you did or volunteering. So that helps you to confirm that, oh, this is what I really want to do. Do I feel more or less energized? What did I learn about myself? So that's basically how you apply the stages of the design thinking to your career plan. And the other question that talked about, have you ever felt giving up on your career? If yes, how do you overcome it? Well, yeah, I felt like that in the past. I mean, because um, start when you start your career, when you start out as an entry level or as a graduate or whatever the case may be, it might look like many things are not working, So, but how I was able to overcome it was to have the right support system. Like I told you that I have accountability group and we have meetings every fortnight. I told you I have a mentor, even with where I've gotten to. And so support system, they help me to understand. And some of my friends would be like, hey, but can you know what do you mean that you are tense? You are good at this thing. So having a support system help you to actually stay afloat when you are doubting yourself, because this is the period when you are feeling like you want to give up, right? And also, maybe it's a situation of you're not really getting it right. So go back to that your career plan and see if there's something you're not getting right. Ask the right question to your mentors and to the right persons. And so you don't need to give up, but it's important to reroute. You can reroute, you can readjust, but you mustn't give up on your career. Okay, another question
Thank
is
you
here.
so
What's
much
the
for
best
that.
way? Okay, so a question here
Yes.
says, what's the best way to balance multiple interests when planning a career?
Then
So
also to add to that, before you answer, then on YouTube too, because you're also live streaming on YouTube where like people are watching. A question also says, how can I survive as a photographer in this AI era? So maybe you can take both together.
okay. Yeah, I'm trying to read the first question. Let me look at the first question again. What's the best way to balance multiple interests when planning a career? Yes, I talked about segmentation. So you need to group your options into categories. So what are the different categories? You have different interests. But yeah, you need to partition it. This interest, they're in this area. This interest, they're in that area. Push everything into segment every area, every interest into different areas. And you mustn't jump at every interest at the same time. The best way to balance multiple interests is to segment them and now build them accordingly, or find a way to fuse everything together. Because the truth is, there are transferable skills from this particular career, this particular interest to this particular interest. So I said, for instance, if you want to be in a career in history or historian, you saw the future of work. You see that data analytics, data analysis is very crucial. How do you marry history and data analysis? So you become a data analyst in history, in historical context, and you become very useful. So basically, just on how to marry it and how to also segment it. That might be a bit tricky. Then, in the age of AI and being a photographer, is basically understanding how to build competence in other forms of photography, Photoshop, editing, uh, AI. I know that most times now I see a lot of posts on LinkedIn. People say, "Oh, I just changed my profile picture using AI, using ChatGPT. I just changed." And photographer supposed to be my job. Let me snap you this headshot. You just spent my money on GPT. So yeah, I think that's a difficult thing because a lot of people now have access to AI and they can use it to, by themselves without even coming to you as a photographer to do it. I think that a unique selling point, even within that area. So people are using AI to take pictures, to do this, to do that, master the craft in that AI, and now identify some areas that people don't really know, and present yourself, launch yourself. Oh, I'm a photographer, but I can use AI to do this and do that. And do some samples, post it online. People will come to you and say, how did you do this? I want to do this. Help me do this. There's the AI, but you've gone a step higher using that AI, and people that can actually use AI on a daily basis and are coming to you to say, I like how you did yours, even if I know how to use Photoshop and AI. But I mean, it's the way you did this. So learn those skill sets within AI as a photographer that me as someone that is not a photographer don't really know, because just try to build it up a bit. Just a step ahead of the regular individuals that are using AI for photo-related content and all. Okay, I think I've answered that question.
So anyone has any more questions before we okay, so someone says now that AI and automation are taking over many industries globally, how can someone like me cope or stay relevant when my interests don't lie in tech or AI?
Okay, so what does the interest lie? Where does the interest lie? No matter where your interest lie, you can infuse AI or tech to it because you don't want to become outdated. You don't want to become irrelevant. So you need to move with the trend. Yes, what you are doing does not really have to do with AI, but you have to infuse AI into it. It's just like someone who's in the market and someone would sell pepper and brand it, and the branding looks so good. It's pepper, but in the market you put it in plates, put pepper, but you are packaging it, you're putting nylon to it, you're putting your name, your signature name and your logo and all those stuff. I'll buy that pepper that you are doing because it's sophisticated. So no matter what you are doing, tech can make it more sophisticated. So you need to embrace the new trend. What brought uncertainty in career choices and decision, and how can one eliminate it? Is it what brings uncertainty in career choices? Well, basically, it's because there's plethora of options for us. So there are so many options today, you know, and so that can also, and again, the economic situation of things bring a lot of uncertainty to things. So that can also be one of the factors they're making us to say, oh, I don't think this career will work for me. Oh, I don't think this will work for me. So how you can eliminate it is basically the same thing, like I said before, trying to become. I don't know but I like it. Okay.
Okay, you can go on.
Yeah, how you can eliminate it is basically I think I've lost my train of thoughts. Yeah, but yeah, basically how you can eliminate it is look at the question again. Yeah, is to you know what, I will share my slide because this explains it. I think I've addressed barriers to career clarity and how to overcome them. So instead of repeating it because of time, I'll just share my slide so you can go through it and see those examples. Uh, Now that AI and automation are taking over globally, how can someone like me cope? So, okay, I think I've addressed something like this. Oh, okay, great.
Okay, I don't think there are any more questions. Let me check YouTube.
Thank you very much, guys. Okay, Sumaya's hand is up.
Okay, Sumaya, can you unmute yourself and speak? That will be the last question we'll take. Sumaya, if you can hear, Sumaya, show up. Can you unmute yourself and
Good
speak?
evening, everyone.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone.
Good
Can you
evening.
hear me?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Ebuka, for the session. My question is this: let's say I'm currently learning data analysis, and then I get to understand that with automation and AI, being able to do many of our tasks, AI can also analyze data. And then I'm wondering if I'm on the right track. So can you please help with that?
Very much so, you are on the right track. Companies or organizations will employ you, as far as Africa is concerned, they'll employ you instead of using AI. Because again, when you put out certain data out there on AI to analyze for you and all of that, you're not certain of that data protection. Because when it comes to data, there's also data protection policies in organization. So you are very much on the right track. I think that the concept of AI has not been fully understood, especially in continents like Africa. But if you are learning data analytics, I promise you, let me use the word hot cake. You'll be sought after. So continue with that, but maybe learn about how the AI work as well. So yeah.
Okay, so there's a question here, which is the what when we want to close, that's when people are sending more questions. We're asking for questions, don't want to talk. So there are two questions here, and please after that will be the last because of time. One says, I'm interested in women empowerment. What career path can I build? Can one build around women wealth advocacy? Then there's another one that says, I find it very difficult sometimes to volunteer in order to learn a skill. I'm reading it from the chat. I'm trying to scroll up. In order to learn a skill like project management, but most volunteering roles and opportunities require you know about that role, project management, very well. How do we navigate this difficulty? So just those two questions, and we are really, really done. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm interested in women empowerment. Who asked this question? Mercy, you need to eat. If you don't eat, you cannot empower women. So I think that young people like us, we are very passionate about social development. We want to help. And it's very good because I think that in this age and time, helping is very important. But do you know that to empower women, you need resources, you need money, you need people to work with you. So you need to eat first, eh? So after eating, after eating, so what I'll advise you to do is I think that you should go into the nonprofit sector, work for people, volunteer. You can start with volunteering. If you are, I don't know what you are doing currently. Maybe you are a business developer, you are a communications officer. I don't know. But regardless of what you are doing right now, I promise you, you have transferable skills that the nonprofit sector is looking for. So go look for internship program, or if you don't find internship program, reach out to organizations and tell them you want to volunteer. You want to volunteer in project management, you want to volunteer in this area or in that area. That will help you to gain the skill. And in that volunteering you are doing, or in that internship you are doing, or in that job you are doing, be saving a percentage of the money. Not save for your future, but also be saving like maybe 2% for that women empowerment you want to do later. So now keep saving. When you finish saving, when you can afford to register your organization with CAC, when you can afford to run initiatives, when you understood how to write grants, so start. So register your organization. In 5 years' time, register your organization. Start implementing small activities and projects so you can have evidence to apply for grants. So when you now implement those activities, so you can imagine, let me give an example. So Damola is hosting this program and it's the 2.0. She has hosted 1.0. And the 1.0, I'm very sure she did not get a lot of funding, but today she's hosting this
No, it
project.
was fully self-funded.
You can
There was
imagine. So it was self-funded. She used her money. But because she documented the evidence, everything, and she now applied for Global Youth Mobilization Fund under the European Union Youth Empowerment Fund. And she got it because there's evidence. So you don't have evidence. To empower women is not small thing. This is what first ladies of different countries are trying to do to empower women, and they are using a lot of money to do it. So yes, that your interest is valid, but take it step by step so that you not be hungry and you now you now become the needy instead of you helping the needy. Do you get? So very important. So the last question, which is finding very difficult sometimes to volunteer in order to learn is project management, but most voluntary roles and opportunities require you know about the role. Okay, so now you can
of course.
take Coursera or different programs, like take courses. When I started taking courses on Allison. There are free courses. Take free courses on project management, right? So take free courses. And for instance, Lagos Food Bank Initiative, when they want to do their outreach program, they will come. They don't need you to have technical experience. Just know how to share food and wear t-shirts. That's what they're looking for. So go there, wear t-shirts, share food, come to your CV and write, supported Lagos Food Bank Initiative in this. That's experience. So you did not plan the project, but you went to share the food. So you've gotten experience like that. So you can get this experience from small things. Or maybe you're helping your mom in the shop. Or maybe, maybe you're hosting a one-day webinar. Just host one-day webinar. Maybe you learn something on project management. Go and teach it. Teach it when you come to your CV. Trained, facilitated, use those big words. And so then you now see that, you're applying for volunteering and you need someone that has experience. I cannot say no to you. You have experience already. You've distributed food with Lagos Food Bank. You've trained people on webinar, on this or that. Because webinar itself, planning a webinar is a project. Any small activity that you need to implement over a period of time is a project. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Would have to stop here, please, so that we can I would share the if you don't mind, Ebuka, I would share the link to his LinkedIn profile with you, so you can connect with him on LinkedIn, read his thoughts, leadership articles, and then ask him the questions you want to ask him. But for now, so thanks so much, Ebuka. It was really an honor to have you on this call. Thank you so much for coming. Please, everyone, let's take a picture before everyone is. So please put on your cameras if you can, so we can take the picture. Yeah, so let me do grid view. So who are those? So put on your camera. Please, I hope everyone is ready, because no one will now say, I'm not in the picture, I'm not in the picture. Once we take it, we take it new. So put on your camera. So I'm starting right now.
Emmanuel is really ready for this picture. It's
Out
It's
at my
really
end, and so I'm in the dark.
okay. So I've started taking it already. I've taken the first shot. Remains two to go. Please still put your camera on.
I can see peace out sign. That's Tuluwanimi. Interesting.
Okay, the last one, which I'm taking now. So still put your camera on.
Wow. Beautiful faces, amazing people.
So yes, so we are good. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thank you for joining this session. And thank you for filling the post assessment. Thank you for your energy so far. It's really been great since yesterday. And let's maintain this till the end. We are still going all the way to next week, Saturday. So we still have a stellar cast of speakers. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ebuka. Then the resources he mentioned, I'll try to get them. I'll get them from him and then share via email and share on the WhatsApp group, so that everyone can also access it and share links to his social media profile, so you can also connect and read and follow his journey, and probably also maybe be part of his initiative. So thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow, same time,
I
6
just I
p.m.
just shared this discovery worksheet for career clarity in chat box. So, but I'll share the slides with you.
Okay, I've seen that. Let me copy that.
All right, thank you very much. All the best, everyone, and thank you, Indamula, for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.